right, hello. Who is ready for some Hive Sci? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We are going to be looking at something super special, and I couldn't find too much on it to read that was not just strictly freaking papers. So I had to find like a Reddit post in order to relay things to you guys. But there's some great images in this one too. Yeah, so the title of this, and this is from 18 days ago. What makes me feel strange is that no one here has ever discussed this supergiant specimen of Tyrannosaurus rex, BHI 6248, nicknamed ED Cope. All right, so we're gonna crack this nut, okay? If you like dinosaurs, stick around, because dinosaurs, right? BH16248, nicknamed Edie Cope, discovered by Bucky Derflinger, Bucky Derflinger, that's a good name, and named after Edward Drinker Cope. Although the integrity is not very high, the femur is preserved. Based on the diameter of the femur, Peter Larson determined it may be heavier than Sue, which is FM NHPR 2081. All its fossil materials are preserved in the Black Hills Institution. In Paul's 2022 paper, The Tyrant Lizard King, Queen, and Emperor, multiple lines of physiological and strategic evidence support subtle evolution and probable species specification within the North American genus in Tyrannosaurus. He listed the measurement results of the femoral circumference of all specimens of Tyrannosaurus rex that had preserved their femurs. The table showed that Cope's femur circumference had reached an astonishing 630 millimeters. Far exceeding Sue and Scotty at 580 millimeters and 590 millimeters, respectively. Quite a bit surpassing them, which also dwarfs Gigas' 520 millimeter femur circumference, which is already the largest among theropods except for Tyrannosaurus rex. It makes it the only theropod with a femur circumference exceeding 600 millimeters, and it exceeds it by 30 millimeters, which is massive. The femoral proportions are used as primary assessment of specimen robustity. Because the femur's critical role is in supporting a biped's entire body mass, makes its proportions a key indicator of the body's robustness. In fact, the femur is the most important and reliable bone for estimating the weight of a theropod, and the most widely used formula of Campion in Academy is based on the circumference of the femur. Overall, the larger the femoral circumference of a theropod, the greater its weight. The reliability of this formula has been confirmed in many estimates and papers. The weight estimates of many different theropods quoted by people actually come from the calculation of this formula. So yeah, when you hear about when you read like about a dinosaur and it tells you how much it weighed, that formula is based on the diameter of the animal's femur. Yeah, so that is absolutely accurate. And I don't know if they were obese, though, Carrie Ann. Let's see. Where was I? In the paper, an older and exceptionally larger adult specific of Tyrannosaurus rex, Scotty was able to surpass Sue in weight estimates by relying on a thicker femur. Although many parts of Scotty were described and measured in detail in the paper, the femoral circumference was still used for weight estimation. As the robustness of the femur is crucial for a weight estimation, if Scotty did not retain the femur, then we can only say that the largest Tyrannosaurus rex is likely still Sue. Scotty is only likely to be about the same size as Sue, and we cannot guarantee that Scotty is even larger because the material in other parts are not sufficient to prove that Scotty is larger. Although I think the difference between the two is actually very small, it is not a problem to say they are the same size, but 630 millimeters definitely means a significant difference. Yeah, because remember, the difference between Scotty and Sue is 10 millimeters, with Scotty being 10 millimeters bigger, whereas the difference between Scotty and Cope is 40 millimeters, so a significant difference. And we expect that it's going to be reflected in the animal's weight. Unless there is a serious measurement error, Cope is highly likely to be a much larger Tyrannosaurus rex than Sue and Scotty. If the measurement is accurate or the error is small, Cope is also likely to completely end the discussion of who is the largest theropod, because if the same weight measurement method is used, Giga needs to grow to be over 14 meters or even close to 15 meters in order to reach Cope's weight. And this is almost impossible. For Spinosaurus, the same situation is similar. To achieve such a weight, according to current estimates, it would be almost impossible to perform amplifications. Okay, so here's some of the paperwork on E.D. Cope. To date, E.D. Cope consists of a maxilla, dentary, an ectopterygoid, angular, other undetermined skull bones, some vertebrae, ribs, and a concretion encased bones. Other than the left maxilla, the preparation of the specimen has not begun. Right. So it's about 10%, a 10% skeleton. That's what we're looking at with Cope. Let's see comments. During the excavation, a number of cinta were discovered piled on the surface. It appeared that some time ago, someone had initially piled these bones up. Larson and Donnan, 2002, speculated this could possibly be the site from which Edward Drinker Cope had collected two vertebrae from a partial Tyrannosaurus rex he described as Manospondylus giga. Unfortunately, the question remains unsolved. Chemical analysis might answer the question. That's what they named after Cope, by the way. This specimen was scattered over a large area, like Duffy, Stephen, and Fox. And like Stephen, it appears that it was also a cannibal. It was also cannibalized. Sorry, had that backwards. Most of the skeletal elements are encased in sideritic and phosphatic concretions, making it difficult to prepare and recognize the bone elements. More of the skeleton could be buried at the site. Let's see, in Larson's book, it's in 2008, he briefly describes Cope. The book does not state that the femur and the tibia were found at the time in the area that the femur and tibia were found in during the subsequent excavations. Working on a giant 3D jigsaw puzzle of broken concretion fragments from E.D. Cope, the Tyrannosaurus rex. Not the easiest puzzle when lots of pieces are missing. Look at that though, that's all Tyrannosaurus. It's amazing. Yep, hydrate, sorry. I will hydrate, Bugbot. There you go, I'm hydrated. Continuing on. Although only a portion of the skeleton has been partially prepared, it has some pretty cool elements preserved, including its massive leg. The diameter of the femur indicates that this T-Rex might have weighed more than Sue. There's the femur itself. Larson believed in 2019 that cope may be larger than Sue. Extremely sturdy femur and looks well preserved. It does. It looks like an excellently preserved femur. There's its teeth too. The Black Hills Institute. Awesome. I love the giant tooth sticking out right here. And here's a table of size comparisons for the femoral dimensions. And it's got 590 on here for T-Rex. Now that's going to correspond with Sue. But as we mentioned, 630 is the diameter on this one right here. So a little bit different, a little bit bigger. And what we have here, this is the formula that they're using. Now, this is the section we're looking at right here. So there's not even anything approaching the size of cope on the femurs. Look at that, not even close. In the 2022 paper, cope's femur was measured for the first time. The table showed that cope's femur is 1,300 millimeters long and 630 millimeters thick. Considering the extremely amazing circumference, a length of 1,300 millimeters may be slightly shorter, but I'm not very sure about this. Just guessing, because different scholars have different measurement standards. There are several versions of Sue's femur length, however. The circumference of the femur is often relatively uniform, and excluding measurement errors, the measurements error is very small. The table also shows that there are many individual Tyrannosaurus rexes that have preserved their femurs, with the femur circumference close to or exceeding the 520 millimeters. They even reached a circumference very close to Sue's 580 millimeters, which may indicate that Tyrannosaurus rex growing to sizes similar of Sue may not be so rare as we used to think. And this is the guy who taught me about it, Vividin. He has a channel on YouTube. I actually might go show you guys that in just a second, but I should be wrapping up here though. Well, this just has to be made into a video. Do you mind if I reference it? Yeah. So that's how I found out about that. I didn't realize he found out about it through this thread. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, here's his channel. And yeah, his video won't stop, Copium Rex.
As our knowledge of the fossil.
This is the video that I learned about this from, though. I follow this channel, so definitely worth following. The Vividin, if you're into dinosaurs. They are on the cutting edge of paleontology, and beat me out by a full week on covering this topic. Of course, there was no chance that I was going to get to them before them. Maybe I should start following this Reddit, but yeah. Anyway, so that was a little bit of Hive Sci for you, a little bit of PaleoPeek. I hope that everybody on board enjoyed that, and that we can continue to have some fun exploring dinosaurs and the lot. Thank you for joining me. Please remember to be kind and take care.